So it's back to school time, and with all the craziness that goes on, right? We've got full clothes shopping. We've got to get the kids on a different schedule. We've got to get school supplies. We've got to make sure that they're getting up on time. But in amongst all of that, we also have some essentials that we can use to help support our kids when they go back to school. And so we're just going to spend a few minutes today going through some key things that you can do at home to help your kids through the school year. So let's go ahead and we will just get started. Okay, so back to school time. The first thing that we're going to talk about is your kids' nutrition. So most kids, especially teenagers, they really struggle to get the proper nutrition. But the fact is, even if we are eating a whole food-based diet, our bodies, this is the same for adults as well as for children, our bodies don't get the proper amount of nutrition, and it's plain and simply because our soils don't contain the nutrients that it used to, when our grandparents were farming the land. And so one of the ways that you can help support your child to make sure that they are getting that proper nutrition, obviously, is first making sure that we're giving them, lots of fruits and vegetables, that we are making sure that we are cutting the sugar out of their diet. I really challenge you to look at the food that you buy, look at the package, anything from a box of cereal to spaghetti sauce mix, and look at how much sugar content is in there. And studies have shown that when we have large amounts of sugar, a couple of things happen. One, we get this huge sugar rush and then we crash, which in small children can cause some tantrums to happen. And the other thing that we do is we get brain fog, and the mind races. And so it's really important for kids to make sure that we're getting those fruits and vegetables into their diet. But in addition to that, for those children who can't swallow pills, we have the A to Z. Now, I'm actually going to talk to you a little bit more about the Lifelong Vitality Pack as it applies to the A to Z for the children and to the IQ Omega. So the first one is the food nutrient, the VMZ. And this is where we're going to get all those minerals and nutrients that we don't get from our whole foods. So it's a great one for teenagers, or even for those kids that can swallow pills. It's a great one to start them on. The next one would be the E Omega. And this is brain functionality, like brain energy. It's also good for our joints and our bones. So especially for kids who are growing, we want to make sure that they're getting a high content of those omega fatty acids into their bodies. And then the next is the cellular vitality. And this is for cellular health, for cellular energy, so you have a little bit more stamina. Now, this is the same for children. So they have the chewables, the A to Z, contains all the same nutrients in it that the Lifelong Vitality does. And then it also has the IQ Mega, which tastes really good. It's super, some kids don't like it, some kids do. I don't mind it, but you could put it in smoothies, you could put it in yogurt. There's just a bunch of different ways that you can introduce this to your child. So right here we have the proper nutrients in our child's body, and then we have that brain functionality, those omegas that we're giving them. So the next thing we're going to talk about is our gut health, right? And this is going to kind of play into our immunity. So studies have shown that 90% of our immunity is found in our gut. So we have in our gut, we have some good bacteria and we have some bad bacteria. And what we want to make sure that we do is that we have more good bacteria in our stomachs than we do bad bacteria. And unfortunately, 90% of Americans actually have more bad gut flora than they do good. So there's a couple things that we can do here to help assist with that. So we have the PB Assist. This is the adult version, or for those kids that can swallow a pill. And it's full of live probiotics. Now, what's really cool about this one is not only does it have a probiotic, but it has a prebiotic as well. So it's double capsuled, so it can make it through your stomach acid and into the intestinal tract and the lining where it needs to be. And the prebiotic actually is food for the probiotic. So it's a really special formula that you don't see out on the market. But for those that cannot swallow these pills, there's the PB Assist Junior. And you guys, this is so key on keeping them healthy, especially when they go back to work or back to school, because they're going to be exposed to all those germs and around all those people. So if we can boost their immunity through their gut, this is like total key. Now, these PB Assist Juniors are the same as the PB Assist, and they've got the live cultures in there. but it tastes like a pixie stick. So you actually have to try to keep these away from your kids because they want to eat it so much because it tastes so yummy. Can adults take them? Yes, adults can take these ones too. And in fact, I would say 50% of the people that I know take the PB Assist Junior in lieu of the PB Assist. So yes, adults can take it. Now, all of this applies to us adults as well. We need that good bacteria, that good flora in our stomach as well. So if you've been on an antibiotic, your child's been on an antibiotic, which kills bacteria, it's killing the good bacteria in your stomach as well. You also have to keep in mind, if you drink a lot of like Walmart milk or a lot of meats that have been injected with an antibiotic, that actually comes through when you're eating it. So your body's being exposed to those antibiotics, whether you're taking antibiotics or not. So it throws off the chemistry in our gut. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is if you don't eat your fruits and vegetables raw, then and you cook your food, then you're actually cooking the enzymes out of the food that actually break the food down. And I don't know if you knew that or not. So what we have here is a pterozyme, and this just helps to break down the food when it's so that our body's absorbing 100% of it. So pterozymes are really great. Now this comes in a pill form. So for the kids who can swallow it, it's super great. But if they can't swallow it, you can actually break it apart and put it into a smoothie or some yogurt or something like that. So it's also easy for kids to use. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. One of my favorite products. Now, On Guard is called our protective blend, and it is a germ fighter. Like, it is amazing. Not only that, but it boosts our immunity. So there's a couple of protocols that you can do with this. And that is, one, make sure that you're putting the On Guard, make it a protocol, make it a habit that you and your child are putting the On Guard on the bottoms of their feet in the morning and at night. Now, obviously, you can't send this to school with your kid and have them take their shoes and socks off, right? And so what I really, really love is these On Guard beadlets. So it's a quarter drop in a little beadlet that they can just pop in their mouth or they can just swallow. So this is something that they could take to school. They could stick it in their backpack, unless you have one of the kids like we do who like to eat it like candy, right? And then you probably want to move over to the throat drops so that you can just put a couple in the backpack. They can suck on them. Most schools will allow this. They won't, you know, some schools aren't totally 100% on board on the 100% natural. So having these throat drops are really, really great. Just throw it into the backpack. They can take it when they need it. So the goal would be to get the On Guard products on our children and on ourselves about a month before school starts. And if you can't do that, that's okay. Maybe school's already started. Make sure that we're doing this at least 3 times a day. So once in the morning, once at night on the bottoms of their feet, and either sun them with some On Guard beadlets or some droplets. Now, the other thing that I really love to put in the backpack is the hand sanitizing mist. So it's in this awesome little bottle that can just go straight into their backpack. When they use the restroom, they can spray their hands off. When they come in from recess, they can spray their hands off, and just to prevent that germ spread. So a couple of my favorite products right there to help boost our kids' immunity. All right, let's talk about the emotional support that we can give our children. Now, for some kids, maybe it's a new school. Maybe it is they don't feel comfortable at school. Well, maybe they have friends that aren't nice. Maybe went through a loss. So there's going to be different times that our child needs the emotional support that these oils can actually really, really help. And so we're just going to kind of touch on each one of them really quickly. Motivate, I love Motivate. This one's absolutely, like, if you need to get your kids doing some homework or clean the house, throw in some Motivate into the diffuser. Now, it also comes in this touch kit, which I love for children. It's already pre-diluted, so you don't have to worry about any skin irritations, and you can just throw the Motivate on the back of their neck, and maybe on their wrist, let them just smell it. Now, sometimes we have some grumpy kids, right? They just need a little bit of cheering up. They're just kind of down in the dumps. So that's where your cheer would come in. Again, back of the neck, wrist, palm of their hands, let them inhale it. And I think it's a really cool process when we can, let's get this back up. When we can just take a moment with our kids and put the oils in our hand and just breathe deeply, because breathing really calms the body, calms the nervous system, calms the mind. And so that act in itself is so beneficial. And then when you add the essential oils to it, it's just a dynamite combination. So it teaches them to stop and breathe and to be present in the moment. So we're going to just touch on a few more. We've got some peace. So if they're just really finding it as a struggle, maybe it's on a test, maybe it's on their friends, we can give them some peace. Console is great as well. And then forgive is actually one of the number one, when they tested all these emotional oils, forgive came out really high in creating a happy work environment when they tested it in work environments. And so it's a good one to do during homework time or maybe even reading time. And then there's, of course, passion. So being able to have that emotional support to help our child through the school year, I think is super empowering as a parent. Okay, let's talk about focus and mental clarity. Because I know there's a lot of children. I had one, I've got a couple of grandkids that are that way, that they just don't focus. Like their mind is just going 100 miles an hour. Right? So if we're supporting them with proper nutrition, we're giving them their vitamins that they need, we're giving them the omegas, we're making sure they're getting plenty of exercise, and we're doing all of these things, and we still need a little assistance during the mental clarity. And again, you guys, this is for adults as well. Like I use Intune almost every day when I sit down to work because it just helps me to stay focused, helps me to be clear. A great combination, just as a side note, is Motivate the Diffuser and Intune on the back of your neck and chest. Great combination if you want to get some stuff done, if you really have to just sit and focus. Some other supportive essential oils that I love to use for focus and clarity is rosemary and lemon. Those are two of my favorite. Now, I think it's important to let your child figure out which one they like. All of our body chemistries are a little bit different. And so one child might be drawn to the Intune and the scent of Intune, where another would be drawn to frankincense or lemon. And so these are some really supportive oils to help with mental clarity, focus, concentration, and let them decide and experiment to find out which ones works best for them. A great combination that you can do in the diffuser is the lemon and peppermint together with a little dab of rosemary. You could take the rosemary and put it in their hair before they start school. You can roll the Intune down the back of their neck. I like to do a drop of frankincense under the tongue each morning and each night. Again, just helping with that mental clarity and that focus. So let's see. All right. Sleep is also a very, very key component when we're talking about supporting our children the best that we can, not only for back to school, but at all times. And so maybe you've got a rambunctious kid that's just on the go, or maybe they have some behavioral issues that you're dealing with. I would first off make sure Intune is one of those things that you're using. But this applies for when we're trying to help our child get a restful sleep, right? Especially teenagers, they're not sleeping the proper amounts. I don't think I can think of a single teenager that isn't up on social media until 2 in the morning, then have to get up and go to school, at 5 or 6 in the morning. And that's just not a proper amount of sleep. And if our body doesn't have that time to reset and repair and rebuild, then it really plays havoc on not only our emotions, but our overall health. And so some supportive oils that you can help your child have a more restful sleep is the Serenity. Now, the Serenity also comes in a soft gel, so they could take it internally in a pill form if they can do pills, or otherwise you can just do the Serenity on the bottoms of your feet. Another really, really good one that I like to combine with the Serenity is vetiver. And vetiver is just very calming, it's relaxing, it helps promote a restful sleep. In fact, the Serenity blend has vetiver in it. But I like to just add a little bit more to it. Some other essential oils that you could help, and you could use all 4 of these together. In fact, I do every night, are cedarwood and balance. Now, these are just very grounding essential oils. One of the fun things that you could do with your kids at night before they go to bed is do some yoga. Do 5 minutes of some sleepy time yoga, and put the cedarwood and balance on, and then run through a yoga sequence with them, and just help them prepare for bed, and then put the Serenity and vetiver on their pillow or in the diffuser, and you'll just see them just kind of shut down and go to sleep. Now, the cedarwood and balance are 2 essential oils for that rambunctious kid, that behavioral kid. These would be 2 oils that I would definitely reach for, maybe even put them in a roller bottle so they could take it to school. and I would be applying it morning, night, and while they're in school. So some great supportive oils for that calming grounding to help them support them during their sleep. Now there's a ton of other essential oils that you could use out there. But those are the top ones that I like to use, the top ones I think a lot of people use when they're trying to support their child for back to school, to make sure they're doing well on their tests. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention is if you've got a child who's active in sports, or they've got a lot of growing discomfort in their legs, you may want to also reach for the Deep Blue or the Aroma Touch. So it's very supportive to help with those achy muscles, achy joints. And then the Mito 2 Max is a great one for energy and stamina. And I think that would apply more to your teenager who is in a lot of sports or activities, physically active. So I would reach for the Mito 2 Max. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this today and learned a lot. Of course, if you're ready to get started on your essential oil journey, I'm here to help. And so you can follow me on Instagram, IGTV, on Facebook. Give me a call or email me. Let's talk about what your wellness plan is, because everyone's different. And let's get started on your essential oil journey. I would love to help you. Thanks, you guys.